सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा, फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ। त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ। समर्थ बनाओ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ। त्यागो सारी दुर्बलता को राष्ट्र समर्थ बनाओ, बंधु भाव समता ममता से सबको गले लगाओ, सबको गले लगाओ। चलो विवेकानंद मार्ग पर शुभ संदेश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, 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 गीता परिवार हमारा।
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं वलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
वेणुर्मधुरो रेणुर्मधुरः पाणिर्मधुरः पादौ मधुरौ नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
तरणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीथी मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरम्
मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं
सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। संग्राममय जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ ले हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। हो समर्पण लखन जैसा राम जैसा त्याग हो। भीष्म सा हो नियम पालन शौर्य में अभिमन्यु हो। आपदाओं को कुचल कर वीर बालक हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। बुद्ध जैसे कारुणिक हो धीर हम महावीर से। ध्रुव जैसे निश्चयी सत्याग्रही प्रहलाद से। दुर्दम्य सारे संकटों में अग्निपथ पर भी खिले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। हनुमान से सेवाव्रति जिज्ञासु हो नचिकेत से। कर्मयोगी कृष्ण जैसे वीर हो हम पार्थ से। बलिदान गोविंद सिंह सहो स्वार्थ सारा ही चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। देशभक्ति हो शिवासम प्रेम हो गौरांग सा। स्वाभिमान प्रताप सा हो तेज झांसी वाली सा। जलती शहीदों की चिता से हृदय में अंगार ले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। संग्राममय जीवन धरा पर विजय रथ ले हम चले। सद्गुणों की साधना में ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले। ध्येय ज्योति नित जले।
ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता
श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता
अथाष्टादशोऽध्यायः।
अथाष्टादशोऽध्यायः।
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो
सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो
तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुम्।
तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुम्।
त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश
त्यागस्य च ऋषिकेश
पृथक् केशिनिषूदन।
पृथक् केशिनिषूदन।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
काम्यानां कर्मणान्यासं
काम्यानां कर्मणान्यासं
सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः।
सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः।
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं
सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं
प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः।
प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः।
त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके
त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके
कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः।
कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः।
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
न त्याज्यमिति चापरे।
न त्याज्यमिति चापरे।
निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र
निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र
त्यागे भरतसत्तम।
त्यागे भरतसत्तम।
त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र
त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र
त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः।
त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः।
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
यज्ञदानतपः कर्म
न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत्।
न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत्।
यज्ञोदानन्तपश्चैव
यज्ञोदानन्तपश्चैव
पावनानि मनीषिणाम्।
पावनानि मनीषिणाम्।
एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि
एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च
सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च
कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ।
कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ।
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्
निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्।
नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः
नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः
कर्मणो नोपपद्यते।
कर्मणो नोपपद्यते।
मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस्
मोहात् तस्य परित्यागस्तामसः
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
तामसः परिकीर्तितः।
दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म
दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म
कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत्।
कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत्।
सकृत्वा राजसं त्यागन्
सकृत्वा राजसं त्यागन्
नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्।
नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्।
कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म
कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म
नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन।
नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन।
संगं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव
संगं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव
सत्यागः सात्विको मतः
सत्यागः सात्विको मतः
न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म
न द्वेष्य कुशलं कर्म
कुशलेनानुषज्यते
कुशलेनानुषज्यते
त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो
त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टो
मेधावी छिन्न संशयः
मेधावी छिन्न संशयः
न हि देहभृता शक्यन्
न हि देहभृता शक्यन्
त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः
त्यक्तुं कर्माण्यशेषतः
यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी
यस्तु कर्मफलत्यागी
सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते
सत्यागीत्यभिधीयते
अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च
अनिष्टमिष्टं मिश्रं च
त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलम्
त्रिविधं कर्मणः फलम्
भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्य
भवत्यत्यागिनां प्रेत्य
न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्
न तु सन्न्यासिनां क्वचित्
पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो
पञ्चैतानि महाबाहो
श्री गुरुचरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जोदायकु फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा, है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
Jai Shri Krishna. In Zoom meeting, if you want to turn off the notification of Zoom chats, then click on the chats and then click on these three dots. Turn off notifications, click on that. Click on the mute option, and now chats notification will not disturb you. Jai Shri Krishna.
योगेशम् सच्चिदानन्दम् वासुदेवम् व्रजप्रियम् धर्मसंस्थापकम् वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा।
Jai Shri Krishna. A very warm welcome to all the sadhaks as we once again come together to continue our reflections on the timeless wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. With folded hands and hearts filled with reverence, let us offer our sincere pranam on the lotus feet of Purushottam Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swami Acharya Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, humbly seeking their grace to guide and illumine our understanding. In the previous session, Bhagavan helped us appreciate the deeper meaning of sannyasa and tyaga and the spirit in which actions should be performed. Today, he takes us a step further, helping us discover the true nature of action, the forces that shape it, the true basis of right judgment, and answering a timeless question: what is the ultimate compass for navigating right and wrong? Thus showing us how true discernment enables us to make the right choices and progress on the path of liberation. As we prepare to receive Bhagwan's wisdom, let us first turn to him in prayer, seeking the clarity to understand his teachings and to strengthen our lives through his wisdom. I now humbly invite Vaishali Shahji from Ahmedabad, Gujarat to lead us in prayers. Associated with Geeta Pariwar since 2021, Vaishali ji devotedly offers her seva as a group coordinator. Vaishali ji, may I request you to kindly offer our collective prayers to Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
जय श्री कृष्ण वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णौ वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Shri Krishna Didi, thank you so much for the heartfelt prayers. And now, having offered our prayers to Bhagwan, let us proceed with Deep Prajwalan. May this sacred flame dispel the darkness of ignorance in our minds, awaken right understanding, and remind us to perform every action with humility, free from ego and doership. For the sacred Deep Prajwalan, I now respectfully invite Namita Mehraji from Mumbai, a part of Geeta Pariwar since his first batch in 2020. Namita ji has offered several sevas in the Pariwar, including technical assistant, group coordinator, business coordinator, and currently serves as the offline vertical head. She is also actively involved in Bal Sanskar and school outreach initiatives in Mumbai. Namita ji, may I humbly request you to perform the Deep Prajwalan on behalf of all of us.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Namita ji, for taking us into your mandir and making us part of that beautiful Deep Prajwalan with all Geeta Ma's books out there. And among the many actions we perform every day, few have more lasting impact than introducing someone to the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. We invite all of you to share this opportunity with your friends, family, and people you know around the globe. The next L1 batch begins on the 7th of August, and registration is now open on joingeeta.com. And now, Bhagwan takes us from the outer act of inner attitude beyond every action. To help us appreciate these subtle and transformative teachings, we are privileged to have with us Geeta Vrati Sri Vikas Vaidya ji. An engineer and a management professional by education, Vikas brings over 27 years of leadership and international consulting experience, including 12 years as the consultant to the Ministry of Strategic Industries, Government of Indonesia. A polyglot, fluent in English, Hindi, Marathi, Indonesian, Malay, and Spanish, he has also translated and subtitled over 50 Indian feature films in Indonesian and Malay. In Geeta Pariwar, Vikas serves as a trainer across all 4 levels and plays active role in trainer selection, trainer training, and many other departments. Over the past 4 years, he has guided aspirants for the prestigious Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā examination, helping more than 500 Geeta Vratis in the process. He also shares the timeless wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and the Vishnu Sahasranama through his insightful vivechans. Beyond the classroom, Vikasji authors a daily Marathi newspaper column on the Bhagavad Gita, bringing its teachings into our everyday life. He has also taken this wisdom to the global audience through international radio interviews and Bhagavad Gita Parayana programs in Sydney and London. His dedication to the Gita has earned him several honors, including first prize at the Sringeri Sharada Peeth Bhagavad Gita Kanthastha exam conferred to him by His Holiness Jagat Guru Shankaracharya in 2018, where he got the first prize. A living example of discipline and sadhana, Vikasji has been reciting the 18 adhyayas of Bhagavad Gita every day of the year, 365 days, for the past 7 years. His unique ability to blend global leadership experience with spiritual scholarship enables him to present the Gita in a way that is both profound and deeply relevant to modern life. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Vikas Bhaiya ji. And Bhaiya, we humbly request you to guide us through today's Vivechan and help us discover the ultimate compass for navigating right and wrong. Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna Vaidya. We are discussing first of all my obeisances. Pujya Swami ji, आपके चरणों में कोटि कोटि नमन. And a warm welcome to all of you for this second session of 18th Adhyay, Moksha Sannyasi Yoga. Last time we had covered up to slok number 13. And then we were just going to discuss as to which 5 items, which 5 things are responsible for any karma to get performed. So next sloka, 14th. अधिष्ठानं तथा कर्ता कर्णैः च पृथग्विधं विविधाश्च पृथक् चेष्टा दैवै चैवात्र पंचमम्. Shri Bhagavan, Krishna Bhagavan is now listing 5 items. Adhishthanam, that is the base. In our case, our base is our body. So Adhishthan is our body. Karta, the doer. Karanam, Karanam is the sadhan, instruments. Our senses are our tools. Prithagvidam, of various kinds. Vividha, different. Cheshta, our efforts, our activities are our cheshta. Daivai, Daivam is the most important factor. The divine factor, what we call it, faith, prarabdha, unseen forces, all that is covered under Daivam. Atra, here, Panchamam, the 5th. Shri Bhagavan says, the body, the base, the doer, the instruments, that means the senses, our efforts, and the divine factor are 5 things responsible for any karma to happen. So in this sloka, Shri Bhagavan clearly lists the 5 causes, karanats, responsible for any karma to happen. Understanding this removes the illusion of individual doership. Main karta hoon. You are not the only karta. There are 5 factors responsible for you to become karta. First is adhishthanam, the base. As I said, our base is our body through which we perform karma. The body is the foundation of action. Without the body, no physical action can take place. For example, writing requires hands, speaking requires vocal cords, walking requires legs. So body is the platform where action occurs. Next is karta. The doer is the individual self, our jiva, who initiates the action. Our Shri Krishna will later clarify that even this doer is influenced by nature, by prakriti, by our past sanskars. The sense of doership is often mixed with ego. Third is karan. Karan is our instruments. These are tools for action, including our senses, our eyes, our ears. 5 dhanendriyas and 5 karmendriyas are our tools for performing any karma. External tools like machines or devices we use, they are also karanam, instruments. Without proper instruments, action cannot be performed effectively. Fourth is cheshta. Cheshta is our efforts. Effort refers to various activities and attempts involved in performing the karma. Even with body and tools, without effort, nothing can be achieved. You have the body, you have the tools, senses, everything is intact, but you don't take any efforts. Will the karma happen? Never. So nothing can be achieved. Potential remains unused. You have Sharir, Indriya, Man, Buddhi, but you have no efforts. So everything remains unused. Efforts include planning of karma, execution of karma, and persistence. And 5, Daivam, the divine factor. This is the most subtle and often overlooked cause of our karma. Daivam refers to our fate, our destiny, unforeseen forces, divine will. It includes factors beyond human control, such as timing, circumstances, and luck. Sachin Tendulkar is batting. First ball he hits a 6, second ball he hits a 6, third ball he gets out. Same ball, same batsman, same bowler, he gets out. Why? Daivam. Two people may work equally hard, but results differ for both of them. 5 people face the interview. All 5 are intelligent. One gets selected. Daivam. Unexpected events can change the outcome. Shri Krishna includes this fifth factor to remind us that not everything is under our control. Daivam is in God's control. So overall understanding of this shloka is these 5 causes. Adhishthanam tadha karta karnicha pratikudam vedashtakta krishna daivam chevatra panchamam. Together they produce any action. Body provides the base, adhishthanam. Doer initiates the action, karma. Instruments, they enable the action to happen. Efforts, chesta, they execute the karma. And divine factor, daivam, it influences the outcome. No single factor alone is sufficient. Spiritual significance of this shloka is understanding these 5 causes helps us to reduce our ego. I alone did this. No, boss, you did not do it alone. These 5 factors are responsible. Accepts the outcome calmly then when we understand this shloka. Develop humility, namrata. It also aligns with Sri Krishna's teachings of detachment. Do your part, take efforts, chesta, use available resources, karanam, but accept the result as influenced by larger forces. So this is the detachment from karma phala. In real life, success in say job, somebody is doing a job. So his success in job depends on the skill, that means the body, the instruments, efforts, team, and circumstances. Even with preparation, external factors can change the results. Thus, one should work sincerely, avoid ego, accept outcome gracefully. I was telling the cricket story of Sachin Tendulkar. A cricket batsman scored a century. Television praised him only. Later, he thanked, in his speech when he got Man of the Match award, he thanked the coach, the teammates, the groundsman, equipment manufacturer who gave him the bat and pad and everything, doctors, family, and finally the God. He said, the century belongs to many people, not me alone. All these factors are important for century to happen from me. Everyone applauded even more when he said this. So success is the result of multiple causes working together. Recognizing this removes our ego and cultivate gratitude for these 5 factors. And ultimately our Devam, the God. The key message of this shloka for us is every action depends on 5 factors, not on you alone. Recognizing them removes our ego and brings balanced understanding of our karma. So we have studied up till now 14 shlokas. Let us take a quick summary of these 14 shlokas as to what we have studied in these 14 shlokas. These 14 shlokas establish the foundation of Karma Yoga in the concluding chapter of Bhagavad-Gītā, this Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. They tell us, do not renounce your responsibility. Renounce selfish desires and attachment to the results. Continue performing duty with sincerity. Accept success and failure with equanimity. Recognize that every accomplishment depends on many factors. If the farmer says, I am creating this crop, I am responsible. I am doing everything. Bhai, you have done everything, fine. You have sowed the seed in the farm. But if the rain doesn't fall, if the soil quality is not good, if the typhoon takes place, what will happen? If the rain doesn't come in time, what will happen? If the seed quality is bad, what will happen? If your health deteriorates, can you work in the farm? So all these factors are important. No single man can take responsibility or ownership of any karma to happen. Humility, gratitude, and selfless action, they transform ordinary work into spiritual practice. So these things are suitable for family satsanga, Bhagavad Gita classes, management workshops, wherein we teach this shloka. These 5 factors should be informed to all of them. That karta is not only you. These 5 factors are responsible. Next shloka. शरीरवाङ् मनोभिर्यत् कर्म प्रारभते नरः न्याय्यं वा विपरीतं वा पञ्चैते तस्य हेतवः. Whatever action a person performs, whether right or wrong, न्याय्यं वा विपरीतं वा. Sharir is body, vak is our speech, man is our mind, yat karma, whatever action, prarabhate begins or performs, nara is a person, nyayam right, proper, va is or, viparitam wrong, opposite of nyayam is anyayam, that means bad work. Pancha ete, these 5 tasya hetavaha are the causes. Śrīmad Bhagavan says, whatever action a person performs, whether right or wrong, nyayam va viparitam va, through body, sharir, through speech, vak, or through mind, mana, sharira vangmano viryat. These 5 causes are responsible. So it is not merely that karma that is performed by body only for that, for these 5 factors come into picture. Even if you think mentally, mana, or you speak something without doing anything, even for that these 5 factors are responsible. In this shloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan expands the teaching of 5 causes by applying it to all types of actions, shari, vak, and man. According to Gita, the karma is counted when you are thinking something. Karma is counted when you are speaking something. So you cannot say, I was only thinking, I did not do anything, I did not even speak. Arey bhai, you have thought about it, na? Your mind got occupied with that thought, no? It is registered as a karma for you. You will say, I only spoke about it, that I will slap that fellow, but I did not do anything. I only said. You said it, no? It is registered as karma. So the intensity of karma may not be as harsh as performed by body, but definitely the thought coming to your mind or words coming out of your mouth are considered as karma in Bhagavad Gita. Sharira vangmano viryat karma prarabhate naraha. So these factors we have to remember all the time. Shri Bhagavan states that any action performed by a person, whether through body, sharir, through speech, vak, or through mind, manas, and whether right, nyayam, or wrong, viparitam, are all influenced by these 5 factors. Which 5 factors? Adhishthanam tatha karta karanencha pradagvidam vividashcha pradak cheshta daivam chaiva tripanchamam. These 5 factors are responsible. Whether your action is nyayam or viparitam. This teaching is very comprehensive for us. It shows that action is not limited to physical activity. Thoughts and words are also karma. We never thought about it. That Gita considers thought coming to my mind as karma, or the words coming from me as karma. This shloka says, yes, your thoughts is a karma, your words is a karma. Shri Krishna also concludes both good actions and bad actions. Nyayama viparitam va. See, so action is not limited to physical action then. Thoughts, words, as I said, are also considered as karma, as work. For example, thinking negatively is a mental karma, manasik karma. Speaking harshly is a verbal karma. Helping someone is a physical action, sharir. All these involve these 5 factors. So Shri Krishna concludes that good action and bad action, Nayama Viparitam va, the law of action applies universally, whether your action is good action or wrong action. Why this is important for us to understand? Because people often take full credit for good actions, blame themselves or others for wrong actions. Shri Krishna explains in this shloka that both are the results of multiple factors. Neither you should take the credit for everything, nor should you blame others for everything. 5 factors come into picture. This understanding leads to humility in success. We become number when we get success because we know that 5 factors are coming into picture and I am not the only responsible for this. Responsibility without guilt in failure. Even if we fail in something, we say, okay, these 5 factors are important. One factor did not work in my favor. I don't take the blame for my failure. Balanced thinking, whether success or failure. The sense of I am the doer comes from our ignorance, ajnan. When a person understands that body is a tool, mind is influenced by nature, prakriti, external factors also play a role, then ego starts reducing. You have to understand this principally. However, this teaching does not promote irresponsibility, that मैंने कुछ किया नहीं है. These 5 factors are responsible for karma. So if failure takes place, these 5 factors are responsible. Krishna is not saying that you are not responsible. Instead, he is saying you are not the sole cause of success or failure. You are not the sole cause. This subtle understanding allows a person to act responsibly but remain free from ego. This shloka has a connection with Karma Yoga. This shloka reinforces earlier teachings of Karma Yoga that perform action, renounce attachment, understand the nature of action. Together, these lead to freedom from bondage and inner peace. In daily life, success is not entirely mine. That is what we should start believing after understanding these 2 shlokas. Failure is not entirely mine. Nothing is mine. 5 factors are responsible. Success is not mine. Failure is not mine. This reduces our arrogance when we get success. This reduces our self-blame when we get failure and increases the balanced thinking, the confidence, and the peace of mind. So Shri Krishna's teachings here helps dissolve the egoistic idea of doership. I am the doer. मैंने किया. When a person truly understands this, they act without pride. They accept outcome calmly. They move closer to moksha, liberation, because bondage is getting less and less. The key message of this shloka is all karmas, all actions, whether physical, verbal, or mental, sharira vang mano viryat, right or wrong, nyayam va viparitam va, are produced by multiple causes, not by the individual alone. So no one acts entirely independently. A young surgeon was there. He successfully performed a life-saving operation and was hailed as a hero. क्या बचाया अपने पेशेंट को. At the felicitation ceremony, he said, people see only the surgeon. They don't see the nurses who monitored the patient, the technicians who maintained the equipment, the blood donors, the medical teachers who trained me, or the patient's own determination to recover. All are important, no, for patient to recover. His humility inspired everyone. So every action is the result of many contributing factors. Recognizing this should reduce our ego now. Next shloka. Tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalantu yaha pashyatya krita buddhitvan nasa pashyati dharmatihi. Tatra means in this matter, in this context, eva sati, being so, kartaram, the doer, atmanam, the self, kevalam, alone, pashyati, to see, akruta buddhitvan, due to unrefined intellect, akruta buddhitvan. Nasa pashyati, he does not see. Durmati, one with wrong understanding, is durmati. So one who thinks of self alone as the doer, tatraivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalantu yaha, due to ignorance, he does not see the truth. Pashyatya krita buddhitvan nasa pashyati dharmati. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan corrects a very common misunderstanding of human beings. The belief that I alone am the doer. In earlier shlokas what we studied, 13 to 15, Shri Krishna Bhagavan explained that every action has 5 causes, adhishthananta, karata, karanicha pradagudam, vedashta pradakshishta, daimai chevatra panchamam. The body, the doer, the senses, and various actions, and the divine will, daivam. Ignoring these factors and attributing all actions solely to the self, ego, is a sign of ignorance. Those who do not know Gita, they only will say that I am the doer. Those who have understood this shloka and Bhagavad Gita, they will never claim the doership. They will say 5 factors are responsible. I am not the only doer. The word apruta buddhitvan is very important here. It refers to an intellect that is not purified or properly developed through knowledge and reflection. Such a person, he lacks subtle understanding and sees reality in a very limited way. Because of this unrefined intellect, akruta buddhi, one falsely identifies the self as the sole agent of action. Krishna calls such a person as durmati. One with distorted thinking is durmati. This does not mean the person is evil, but rather that their understanding is incomplete. He fails to recognize that actions are the result of complex interplay of factors. Nature, prakriti, past impressions, our sanskars, not only from this life, from all previous lives, circumstances through in which the karma happens, and the divine influence, daivam. For a deeper philosophical standpoint, the true self, our Atma, is pure consciousness, a witness, not an active doer. Atma is only a witness. We learn this in 13th Adhyaya also. Actions belong to the body and mind, not to the Atma, not to the soul, which operates under the laws of nature, sattva rajatamo. When a person says, I did this, they are identifying with the body-mind complex, not the true self. Gita says, you are not the doer, you are the true self. Action is performed by your body and mind. You are not body and mind. We discussed last time this also. That when we say, I am living in Mumbai, I am living in Calcutta, or I am living in Delhi, do we say I am Delhi, or I am Mumbai, or I am Pune? We are living in this. Similarly, we are living in this body-mind complex. In 5th Adhyaya, Paramatma has called it Navatvarpur, city of 9 gates. We are living in the city of 9 gates. So we are not this city. As we never say I am Mumbai or I am Pune or I am Delhi, we should never say I am body. I am living in this body. I am the soul, I am the Atma living in this body, which is called Navatvarpur by God. So in modern life, this teaching can be applied easily. For example, a successful business person, he may think his achievements are purely due to his own efforts. I developed business. I did everything. I toiled very hard. But in reality, many factors contribute. Education contributes. Opportunities contribute. Social support contributes. And even the luck. Daivam. Recognizing this brings humility and gratitude. Thus, this shloka teaches us to transcend our ego and develop a broader vision of karma. True wisdom lies in seeing the interconnectedness of all these 5 causes. Adhishthananta, karata, karanicha pratagudam, vedashta pratakshishta, daimai chaivatra panchamam. These 5 factors. And not falsely attributing everything to oneself. A successful entrepreneur was there. He proudly proclaimed one day, I alone built this billion-dollar company. Soon, a natural disaster disrupted supply chains. Employees resigned and business declined. He later admitted, I forgot how much I was dependent on countless people and circumstances. I thought I am alone running all this. So ego makes us forget many factors that contribute to our success or to failure also. Next shloka, 17. Yasya naham krito bhavo buddhir yasya na lipyate hatvapi sa iman lokan nahanti na nibadhyate. Yasya means whose, na ahankrita bhava, no egoistic sense, is na ahankrita bhava. Buddhi is our intellect. Na lipyate is not tainted, is not bondaged. Hatva api, even after killing, hatva is killing. Api means even. Na hanti does not kill. Na nibaddhate is not bound. What does it all mean? One who is free from ego and whose intellect is unattached is not bound by actions, even if they act. He performs karma, but he is not getting bondage. What is the secret? This shloka presents a profound and very subtle idea. Freedom from bondage does not depend on external action, but on our inner attitude. I always give an example. Is a driver, skilled driver, who was having experience of several years of good driving. One person ran in front of his car and got killed. There was a court case against him. He was present in the court. The judge asked him, "Did you cause death of this person?" He said, "Yes." "So you should be hanged." He said, "No, you cannot punish me." "Why?" "I had no intention of killing. He ran in front of my car. My car is in excellent condition. I am an excellent driver. Everything was under my control. Suddenly he ran in front of my car. I had no intention to kill." If his advocate can convince the judiciary, he will get acquitted free. Same principle applies in karma. If we have no attachment with karma phala and we have no sense of doership, we don't get bondage. So this nahankrita is important here. This shloka presents a profound and subtle idea. As I said, Krishna explains that a person who is free from ego, ahankar, and whose intellect is not attached to results is not bound by his actions, by his karma. So this is the idea of performing karma. No ahankar, no ego, and not getting attached to the results. No bondage. Very good. Can you perform karma like this daily? The phrase na aham krita bhava means absence of sense of I am the doer. This directly connects with the previous shloka, what we studied. When a person no longer identifies himself as the sole doer, his ego dissolves. He begins to see himself as an instrument of the divine will. The second important phrase is buddhir yasya na lipyate. The intellect is not tainted, is not attached. This means the person does not cling to the outcomes, whether success or failure. His actions are performed with clarity, not driven by selfish desires. His buddhi yasana lipyate. Shri Krishna uses a striking example, hatva api. This is important, hatva api. Even if one kills, I gave you example already. He killed that person on the road, but he was let free, let go. This must be understood in the context of battlefield of Kurukshetra, na hatva api. Whether Arjuna is fighting a righteous war, dharma yuddha at Kurukshetra. Shri Krishna is not encouraging violence, but explaining that when actions are performed without ego and attachment, they do not create karmic bondage. That is the principle. And the extreme example is hatva api. Even if you kill somebody without ego and without result desire, you should not get bondage. It does not mean you should start killing everybody on the road. In such a state, the person acts according to duty, dharma, not personal desire. His actions are aligned with righteousness and universal order. Therefore, even intense actions do not bind him. God has given an extreme example, Hatvapi. This teaching is deeply liberating moksha for us. It shifts the focus from what should I do to how should I act. We know what should I do, but how should we act? That this shloka teaches us. This emphasis is on inner state rather than on the external act of karma. In practical life, this can be applied in many ways. For instance, a doctor performing surgery must act decisively. If he is attached to the outcome or burdened by ego, his performance may suffer. But if he acts with clarity, with skill, and with detachment, he performs his duty effectively and remains mentally balanced. I give example of one surgeon in Pune who is a heart surgeon, famous heart surgeon in Mangeshkar Hospital in Pune. Very skillful surgeon. He performed thousands of operations, saved thousands of lives. Ironically, one day it happened that his own son was to be operated for heart. He refused. He took help from another surgeon. Why? All these years you have been performing karma surgery. That time your hands were not shaking. You saved the life of many. Many got killed also. That is a different thing. But when your son comes on your operation table, why do you hesitate? Because the thought comes to mind, if I fail. When you think about karma phala, your concentration, your focus, your skill in performing the karma gets affected. That is the message God is giving. So in daily life also, when we act without ego and attachment, we experience less stress, anxiety, and less regret. We do our best and leave the results to the higher order. That is what he was doing all these years. But when he got attached to karma phala, then the problem started. Sri Krishna's message is not about passivity, but about the purified action. It is about acting fully but without inner disturbance. Such a person, he remains free even while actively engaged in the world. So this shloka teaches the secret of karma yoga to us. Freedom lies not in renouncing the karma, renouncing the action, but in renouncing the ego, kartrutva abhiman, and attachment to the result. So selfless action does not create bondage. This is the rule we have learnt in this shloka. During a major flood, an army officer, he rescued hundreds of families. We see it on TV these days. When a journalist praised him, he simply replied, I only performed the duty which was entrusted to me by army. He neither claimed greatness nor expected rewards. His inner peace remained unaffected by public praise. So when ego is absent, even great actions do not bind the mind. Next shloka. Jnanaidyam parijnata trivida karma chodana karnam karma karate ti trivida karma sangraha. Jnanam is the knowledge, wisdom. Nayam, the object of knowledge. Parijnata, the knower of the knowledge. Trividha, threefold. Karma chodana, impulsive action, impulse in our action. That impulse is called chodana, karma chodana. Impulsive action, karma. Karnam is instrument, sadhan. Karma is our action, karma. Karta is the doer. And karma sangraha is the basis of action. Karma sangraha. So God says, knowledge, the object of knowledge, jnanam, and parijnata, the knower, are the threefold motivations for action. These three are the karma chodana. Threefold motivation for action. The instrument, action, and the doer are the threefold basis of action. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan provides a systematic analysis of karma, dividing it into two sets of three components. This analytical framework helps us to understand how actions arise and how these are carried out. First, Shri Krishna Bhagavan explains the threefold impulse for action, karma chodana, three types. Jnanam, the knowledge. Jnayam, the object of knowledge. Or parijnata, the knower. This is called triputi. In English, in Sanskrit, it's called triputi. These three together create the motivation to act. For example, if you want to learn something, you need knowledge, method of understanding. The object, what you want to learn. Suppose this bottle I have, you want to understand this. So whatever process you follow to understand this is knowledge. And name is this object which you want to know. So this is Niyam. And you who want to know is Parijnata. So this Triput is responsible for any karma to get started. Karma Chodana. This is the impulse for karma to happen. To know yourself. And without these three, action cannot begin. Jnana, Nyam, Parijnata. This Trivida, without that action cannot begin. Next, Shri Krishna describes the threefold basis of action. Karma Sangraha is also of three types. Karanam, the instruments. In our case, instruments of our body, senses, and mind. These are our instruments. Karma, the action itself, and Karta, the doer. This is another set of Triputi. First set of Triputi was Jnana, Nyam, Parijnata. This set of Triputi is Karanam, Karma, Karta. These are the components involved in execution and action, execution and karma. The instruments carry out the task, body, mind, senses. The action is in process, and the doer is the apparent agent of performing this. This classification is very, very important because it shows that action is not a simple one-dimensional process. It is a complex interaction of multiple elements. This again reinforces the idea of earlier shloka that no single factor like ego can claim the full authorship of the karma. 5 factors are responsible. Philosophically, this shloka bridges knowledge and action, knowledge and karma, jnana and karma. It shows that karma begins with cognition, knowing, and ends with execution, doing. Knowing has to be there before you start the karma. What karna kya hai? वो तो मालूम चाहिए ना. So cognition, knowing is a must before you start the karma. And it ends with karma getting performed, execution. Understanding this helps a person develop awareness of his karmas and their underlying motivations. In modern times, consider a student preparing for an exam. The knowledge is the subject matter. He studies through books, notes. It is subject matter. The object is the exam syllabus. Syllabus book mein hai. I have to cover that syllabus. That is the object of, that is Niyam. First was Jnanam. This is Niyam. The knower is the student, Parijnata. The instruments are the books and senses. The action is studying, and the doer is the student. All these together make the process complete. Only student, process cannot complete. Only books, process cannot complete. So all these 5 factors have to come together. By analyzing action in this way, Shri Krishna encourages detachment. When we see that action is the result of many interconnected factors, we naturally become less egoistic. We understand that we are a part of larger system, not isolated agents of our karma. This awareness, it leads to wisdom and balance. It allows us to act efficiently without becoming emotionally entangled. We perform our duties with clarity and with understanding. Thus, this shloka provides a scientific and philosophical framework of understanding action, understanding karma. Jnanam Niyam Parijnata, Trivida Karma Chodana, Karanam Karma Karteti, Trivida Karma Sangraha. It helps us to move towards self-awareness and ultimately moksha, because there is no bondage. So every action begins with this understanding. A student wanted to become a pilot. He first learned aviation theory knowledge from books. He understood the aircraft. Aircraft is the object in this case, which he wanted to fly. And then trained himself. So he is the knower. Jnanam Nyam Parijnata. Aviation theory is the Jnana. Aircraft is Niyam. And he himself is the knower, Parijnata. Only after these 3 come together could he fly safely, isn't it? So they all 3 have to come together. Every successful action begins with this proper knowledge that there are 3 factors, Jnana Nyam Parijnata and Karanam Karma Karteti, Trivida Karma Sangraha. Next shloka. Jnanam karma cha karta cha tridaiva guna bhedatah prochite guna sankhyaane yatha pachunatannyapi. God says, Jnanam, knowledge, wisdom, karma, action, karta, the doer, tridha, threefold. Guna bhedatah, this is important. Guna bhedatah, according to qualities, according to three gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo, prochate are described. Guna sankhyaane, in the classification of gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo, yathavat, properly, shrunu. Shrunu is listen. Tani, those, api is also. Śrīmad Bhagavan, after telling that three things are important, now God says knowledge, jnana, action, karma, and doer, karta, are classified into three types according to the three gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo. That means the knowledge can be sattvic knowledge, rajasic knowledge, tamasic knowledge. The karma can be sattvic karma, rajasic karma, tamasic karma. Similarly, the doer, karta, can be sattvic karta, rajasic karta, and tamasic karta. Listen to their proper distinction. Shrunme. So in this shloka, Sri Krishna Bhagavan introduces a new layer of analysis by linking human behavior to the concept of three gunas. Sattva, that is purity and harmony, Rajas, that is activity and desire, and Tamas, that is inertia and ignorance. These three qualities, which arise from nature, Prakriti. Prakriti is Trigunatmak, Sat Prajotamo, and our body is the gift of Prakriti. So we also carry the same gunas, Sat Prajotamo. It influences all aspects of human life, including knowledge, jnana, including karma, action, and the sense of doership, karta. Shri Krishna states that knowledge, jnana, karma, action, and doer, karta, are of trividha. Trividha is threefold. They may be categorized into three types depending on which guna dominates. We have three gunas. Every time different guna dominates. Right now we are listening Geeta, Sattvic guna is dominating. Very good. After it is over, we'll start doing something, Rajasi may be dominant. After some time, Tamasi may be dominant. Again Sattvic, again Rajasi, Tamasi. This play goes on. The importance of this teaching lies in the self-awareness. Often people assume that the knowledge is always good. Dhyan hamesha अच्छा रहता है. ध्यानी होना हमेशा अच्छा रहता है. And that karma is always beneficial. Action is always beneficial. However, Shri Krishna clarifies now that knowledge itself can be of different qualities. सब knowledge अच्छा होता है ऐसा नहीं है. Knowledge can be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic also. Some knowledge can be liberating, some binding, and some deluding. Similarly, karma can uplift, agitate, or degrade a person, depending upon the nature of karma. The gunas can be understood in a practical way. Sattva brings clarity of mind, thoughts, peace of mind, and wisdom, jnana. Rajas, it brings restlessness, ambition, and attachment. And tamas, it brings laziness, confusion, and ignorance. Every person has all these three gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo, in varying proportions. Somebody may have sattvic content more, somebody may have rajasic content more. At different times, one guna may dominate the others, influencing how we think, how we act, or how we perceive ourselves. I'll just give example of the WWE match on TV. One fellow is there in the ring, another fellow comes, they start fight, another fellow joins. Then both of them start beating the first fellow. So whosoever is strong, he dominates. In our mind, this WWF game is going on all the time. Between Sattva, Rajo, Tamo. Sometimes Sattvic wins, sometimes Rajasi wins, sometimes Tamasi wins. So Shri Krishna's instructions, Shrunu, listen carefully, indicates that this teaching requires attention and reflection. How jnana, karta, karma, everything is of three types. It is not merely theoretical knowledge, but a tool of introspection. After gaining these three varieties of knowledge, three varieties of karma and three varieties of karta, we should introspect. By understanding these distinctions, a person can identify his tendencies and gradually cultivate sattva, which leads to spiritual growth. We don't do self-study. In modern life, this teaching is highly relevant. For example, two people may perform the same job, but their attitude can differ. One may work with dedication and calmness, he is sattva. Another with stress and ambition, he is rajas. And another with negligence or lack of interest, he is tamas. The external action is same, but the inner quality differs significantly from person to person. One is sattvic, one is rajasic, one is tamasic. So this shloka emphasizes that the transformation, it begins within, not externally, it begins within. Instead of focusing only on changing external circumstances, one should work on refining his own inner qualities. Whether it's qualities sattvic, rajasic or tamasic. By increasing sattvic, one naturally develops clarity, compassion and wisdom. So this shloka sets the stage for deeper understanding of human behavior. Next shlokas are going to be very important from that point of view. It teaches us that the key to spiritual progress lies in recognizing and transcending all these three gunas. So human behavior varies according to these three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamo. 3 volunteers were asked to clean a public park. One cleaned joyfully to serve the society. Another cleaned hoping for newspaper publicity. मेरा पेपर में फोटो आएगा. Third avoided the work and complained throughout. The same task reflected 3 completely different inner qualities. First was sattvic, second was rajasic, third was tamasic. So our inner attitude determines the quality of our karma. This is the influence of gunas. Now we'll study what is sattvic jnana, what is rajasic jnana, and what is tamasic jnana. And after we study these 3 jnana, we'll do meditation on this to understand these 3 gunas of jnana. So those who are interested in meditation, we can have a practical demonstration of meditation of these 3 shlokas which we are going to learn now. Slok 20. Sarvabhuteshu enaikam bhavam vyemikshate ayvaktam vipakteshu tadjnanam vidhi sattvikam. Sarvabhuteshu, in all beings, yena, by which, ekam, one, bhavam, essence, reality, avyayam, imperishable. Ikshate is he sees. Avivaktam, undivided. Vivakteshu, in the divided. Tat jnanam, that knowledge. Vidhi is to know. Sattvikam is pure, is sattvic knowledge. Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā says that knowledge by which one sees the single imperishable reality in all beings is sattvic knowledge. Same God is there in all living beings. This knowledge is sattvic knowledge. In this shloka, Shri Krishna defines sattvic knowledge, the highest form of understanding. It is the knowledge that perceives oneness in diversity. Oneness in diversity. The ability to see a single unchanging reality present in all beings is sattvic knowledge. The phrase Sarvabhuteshu Enaikam Bhavam is central of this shloka. It means seeing the same essence in all living beings, whether human, animal, or any form of life. This essence is the Atma, soul, which is eternal and beyond physical differences. You can differentiate between person to person, body, height, weight, sex, male, female, all that. But soul is beyond all this. You can't distinguish. One who knows this is having sattvic knowledge. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna Bhagavan defines sattvic knowledge, highest form. Shri Krishna further describes this reality as avyayam. It does not change or decay with time. While bodies are born, fall sick, get old, and die, the underlying consciousness remains constant. It was there before the body is acquired, it is there when the body is there, and it will continue to be there when the body perishes after a few years. This is Avyayam. Recognizing this truth is the hallmark of sattvic knowledge. Another important phrase is avivaktam vivakteshu, the undivided in the divided. On the surface, the world appears full of differences. People differ in appearance, yes, of course. Their behavior, yes. Their beliefs, yes. And abilities. However, sattvic knowledge sees beyond these external distinctions and recognizes the unity underlying in all diversity. This vision leads to profound transformation. When we start saying avivaktam vivakteshu, people differ in appearance, but we don't care about it then. When this vision comes, when one sees the same divine essence in all beings, feelings like hatred, jealousy, and discrimination naturally start diminishing. Compassion, empathy, and respect, they arise spontaneously. From a philosophical perspective, this teaching aligns with the idea of non-duality, Advaita. Advaita means there are no two. It suggests that all existence is fundamentally one only. Same God resides in all. No Dvaita. I am different, he is different. No, no. Even you and God are not different. That is Advaita. In practical life, this knowledge changes how we interact with each other. For example, a person with sattvic knowledge, he treats everyone with fairness and kindness, regardless of his social status or background. He does not see others as separate or inferior, but as expressions of the same universal reality, what we call Paramatma. This does not mean ignoring differences at a practical level. One still recognizes individual roles and responsibilities, but without losing the sight of underlying unity in them. Shri Krishna calls this knowledge Sattvikam, meaning pure and illuminating. It leads to peace of mind, harmony, and ultimately moksha, liberation. Unlike other types of knowledge, it does not create division or conflict. We'll study Sattva, Rajasic, and Tamasic Jnana. It is going to create division and conflict. But the Sattvic knowledge, it fosters unity and understanding. In today's world, where divisions are based on religion, nationality, and ideology are common. This teaching is especially relevant. It encourages a broader perspective, reminding us that despite external differences, all beings share the same essence. Sarvabhuteshu Enekam. So this shloka teaches us that the true knowledge is not just intellectual understanding, but a deep realization, anubhuti lena is cheez ki, that unity in diversity. This realization transforms both the individual and the society. Imagine if everybody starts thinking this way, the world be a heaven, no? So seeing one divine presence in all beings is the sattvic knowledge. A school principal, he treated the son of a wealthy businessman and the daughter of a janitor with exactly the same affection and fairness. Someone asked why. He replied, they wear different uniforms at home, but here they are equally my students. Sattvic knowledge sees the same dignity in everyone. Now, what is Rajasic knowledge? Next shloka. Prathattvena tu yajnanam nana bhavan pratadvidan vetti sarveshu bhuteshu tajnanam viddhi rajasam. Prathattvena, as separate, pratak. Yet jnanam, that knowledge. Nana bhavan, many forms. Pratadvidan, distinct types. Vetti, vetti is to understand. Sarvabhuteshu, in all beings. Tat Jnanam. That knowledge, Vidhi, is to know Rajasam of Rajas. Srimad Bhagavan now explains Rajasic Jnana, Rajasic knowledge. Knowledge that sees diversity and multiplicity as separate and independent is Rajasic knowledge. In this shloka, Shri Krishna describes Rajasic knowledge. It is characterized by a perception of diversity as separate and independent. Unlike Sattvic knowledge, which was Sarvabhutishu Ekam, which sees unity in diversity, Rajasic knowledge focuses on differences and distinctions. The phrase Pruthatvena, it means in terms of separateness. A person with Rajasic knowledge, he perceives the world as composed of many independent entities, not one Paramatma, many independent entities. He knows entities are there in every individual, but he treats every entity as different, Pruthatvena, each existing on its own, not Sarvabhutisha Enekam. He sees differences clearly, but fails to recognize the underlying unity of those. Shri Krishna uses the term Nana Bhavan and Prathak Vidan to emphasize multiplicity and variety. Sattvic knowledge tries to see everything in unity. This Rajasic fellow tries to see everything in multiplicity and in variety. Nana Bhavan and Prathak Vidan. This type of knowledge is not entirely wrong, I would say. It correctly observes diversity in the world. That is not wrong. There is diversity in the world. But the problem lies when it is incomplete because it does not go beyond appearances. We look at people and stop there, that they are different. But we don't go deeper into them, that they are part of the same Paramatma. So Rajasic knowledge is associated with Rajas Guna, which is characterized, as we know, by activity, by desire, and by restlessness, anxiety. Such a person is often driven by ambition and by competition. His perception of separateness leads to comparison, attachment, and sometimes conflict also. For example, in daily life, a person with Rajasic knowledge may see others as competitors rather than as fellow beings. Sattvic fellow will look at them as fellow beings, Rajasic fellow will look at them as competitors. They may focus on differences such as status, wealth, abilities, leading to pride or jealousy. This type of knowledge can be useful in practical matters. For example, distinguishing between different objects, different roles, different responsibilities is necessary, of course, yes, for functioning in the world. Rajasic knowledge is not totally bad. The problem comes when this perception becomes dominant, that they are all different only, nothing common in them. It can lead to fragmented view of reality. The limitation of Rajasic Jnana is that it reinforces the ego by seeing oneself as separate from others. One develops a strong sense of individuality and attachment. This leads to desire, kamana, actions, karma, and ultimately karmic bondage, karma bandhan. Shri Krishna does not condemn this knowledge. Rajasic knowledge is not totally bad, as I say, but places it in the intermediate level after Sattvic. It is better than Tamasic knowledge, of course, but it is not highest. Highest is Sattvic. It can lead to progress in material life. Yes, it does. Person without Rajasic Jnana, he cannot progress in material world, but does not eliminate the peace of mind or does not lead him to liberation. That is the problem. And since we are discussing spirituality, Rajasic Jnana does not help you in moksha or in liberation. It helps you in getting bondage only. In modern society, Rajasic knowledge is very, very common. Much of our education and our social structure, it emphasizes competition. Parents teach competition to kids right from junior KG level. Achievements and individual success. Well, these are not inherently wrong. they can create stress and dissatisfaction if not balanced with higher understanding. The goal, according to Shri Krishna, is to move beyond Rajasic knowledge towards Sattvic knowledge. This involves recognizing unity while still functioning in a world of diversity. Sarva Bhuteshu Enekam should be the objective. Thus, this shloka teaches us that seeing only differences is a limited form of knowledge. True wisdom lies in integrating this perception with a deeper understanding of the unity in them. Don't look at differences only. See the underlying unity also in them. So divisions create attachment and conflict. Two neighbors, they stopped speaking because one belonged to a different political party. एक कांग्रेस का था, एक बीजेपी का था. So they stopped talking. Years later, during a medical emergency, the same neighbor donated blood and saved others' life. Only when they realized how artificial their division had been. So focusing only on differences, it separates the hearts. Now what is tamasic knowledge? Yattu krasnavade ekasmin karye saktamahaitukam atattvardhapadalpancha tattamasamudaratam. This tamasic knowledge. Yat tu, but that which krasnavat, as if complete, ekasmin, in one thing, karye, object or matter, saktam, attached, ahaitukam, without reason, no hetu, ahaikutam, atatvartha, not based on truth, atatvartham, alpam, limited, narrow, tata tamasam, that is tamasic, udharatam is declared, is called. Shri Krishna now says about the tamasic knowledge after describing sattvic knowledge and rajasic knowledge. Knowledge that is irrational, limited, and clings to one small aspect as if it were the whole is called tamasic knowledge. In this shloka, Shri Krishna describes tamasic knowledge. The lowest form of understanding is tamasic. Unlike sattvic knowledge, which sees unity in diversity, and the rajasic knowledge, which sees diversity in diversity, okay, that is also granted. Tamasic knowledge is distorted, irrational, and extremely limited. In fact, it is wrong to call tamasic as knowledge. The phrase Krishnavadekasmin karya saktam means being attached to a single aspect of something and considering it as the whole truth. This reflects a narrow-minded perspective, where a person is unable or unwilling to see the higher picture, bigger picture. For example, someone may judge the entire person based on one incident. We do it many times, isn't it? You meet that person only for one incident and you start judging him. Yes, I. Or believe a single opinion without examining other perspective of that person. This kind of thinking lacks depth and balance. Shri Krishna also uses the term ahaitukam, meaning without proper reasoning or proper cause. Tamasic knowledge is not based on logic, not based on evidence or thoughtful inquiry. It often arises from ajnan, ignorance, habit, or blind belief, andhavishwas. After another important term Krishna has used in this is atatvarthat, which means not aligned with reality or not aligned with the truth. Atatvarthat. Such knowledge misrepresents things as they are. It can lead to misunderstanding, confusion, and wrong decisions. The word alpam, limited, emphasizes that tamasic knowledge is shallow, limited. Alpam, it does not explore or analyze deeply. It remains at surface level only. Alpam. It is content with surface level understanding, often leading to rigid and dogmatic views. This type of knowledge is influenced by tamas guna, which is associated with darkness, inertia, and ignorance. A person dominated by tamas, he tends to avoid efforts, resist change, and remain stuck in misconceptions. In practical life, tamasic knowledge can be seen in our prejudice, superstition, andhavishwas, and blind adherence to the false ideas. For instance, believing rumors without verification. And after WhatsApp, this has started a great deal. We start believing whatever comes on WhatsApp without really verifying it. So believing rumors without verification is tamasic jnana. Or making decisions based on incomplete information, it reflects tamasic thinking. Such knowledge can be harmful because it not only limits personal growth, but can also negatively affect others. It creates division, misunderstanding, and sometimes even conflict. Sri Krishna's intention in describing tamasic knowledge is not to criticize, but to create awareness in us. मेरा ज्ञान कैसा है? Is it sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic? So introspection is the main idea of Bhagavad Gita. God is telling all about this for us to introspect. By recognizing these tendencies within ourselves, Swadhyaya, we can work to overcome them. If we don't know what we are, whether our knowledge is sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic, how can we take corrective action? The path of growth involves moving from tamas to rajas and eventually to sattvic, and ultimately becoming gunatit. This means progressing from ignorance to activity, tamas to rajas, and finally to clarity and wisdom, sattvic, and then moksha, liberation in the gunatit. In modern times, with abundance of information available, tamasic knowledge can manifest as misinformation or selective misunderstanding. We see how rumors spread on social media, causing great disturbance in the society. This is not tamasic. Therefore, cultivating critical thinking and openness, it becomes essential in today's society. Thus, this shloka teaches us to avoid narrow, irrational, and incomplete understanding. Don't believe any hearsay. True knowledge requires efforts, reflection, and alignment with the reality. So, mistaking a part as the whole is tamasic. A child refused to eat all vegetables because he once tasted a bitter gourd. Karela khali ek baar, he started avoiding all vegetables. His mother smiled and said, "One bitter vegetable does not define every vegetable." Similarly, judging all people from one bad experience, it limits our wisdom. Tamasic. Narrow thinking prevents true understanding. And as I said, now since having known about sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic jnana, let us introspect through meditation as to where do we belong and how to correct, how to rectify our jnana. So these three gunas have been explained in Shlok 20, 21, 22. Sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic jnana. These shlokas invite us to examine not the amount of knowledge we possess, but the quality of our vision, whether our vision is sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. We know that sattvic knowledge sees one divine reality in all beings, sarvabhuteshu enekam. Rajasic knowledge sees only differences and divisions, prataktvena. And tamasic knowledge, it becomes attached to a narrow view and mistakes a part for the whole. So we'll do some meditation on this now. Journey from division to unity, and from ego to love, and from ignorance to wisdom. That is the objective of our meditation. If all of you are ready, and if you are interested in doing meditation, let us start meditation. Sit comfortably with your spine erect. Relax your shoulders. Close your eyes gently. Take 5 slow, deep breaths. As you inhale, silently say, "I breathe in God's peace." As you exhale, you say, "I let go of all tensions." Allow your body to become still. Feel that Lord Krishna is lovingly present before you. In the next step, we'll say the opening prayer. Pray silently. O Lord Krishna, bless me with pure vision. Remove the darkness of ignorance. Help me see the same divine presence in every living being. Free myself from my pride, prejudice, selfishness, and narrow thinking. Fill my heart with wisdom, with compassion, and with unconditional love. Guide me towards truth, and then remain silent for a few minutes. In the next step, we start now meditation. This is the preparation for meditation. Now, slok by slok, we'll start meditation. Slok number 20, Sattvic knowledge. If you can meditate for maybe 10 minutes or so, we don't have that much time, but I will only discuss the steps. Sarvabhuteshu enekam bhavamya vikshite avyaktam vyukteshu tajnanam vidhi sattvikam. So Sri Krishna Bhagavan teaches us that true wisdom sees one eternal reality in all beings. Different bodies, different religions, different languages, different professions, different ages, yet the same divine light shines in everyone. Visualize this with your eyes closed. Visualize this yourself standing in a beautiful garden. There are roses, there are lotuses, there are jasmines, there are sunflowers. Each flower is different. Yet the same sunlight nourishes all of them. Feel it. Similarly, every human being appears, he appears different, but the same God lives in all. Now visualize your own family, your spouse, your children, your parents, your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues. Then think of someone with whom you have differences. Jhagda hai kisi aapka? Now imagine a golden light shining within each person's heart. That light is the same. Silently repeat, the same Lord lives in all. Repeat slowly. Allow compassion to arise in your mind. In the next sloka 21, Pratak Jnana Nana Bhavan Pratak Vidan Vidya Sarveshu Bhuteshu Tadnyanam Vidya Rajasam. So Krishna says, Rajasic knowledge focuses only on differences. It says, my family, my religion, my success, my opinion, my achievement. Notice how ego constantly creates these divisions. Ask yourself gently, do I judge people too quickly? Do I compare myself with others? Do I become jealous of someone's success? Do I divide people into mine and not mine? Observe without guilt. Now imagine drawing many lines in sand. Each line separates one part from the other. A wave comes, the lines disappear. You see this when we are on the seashore, we build a castle and the wave comes and destroys everything, isn't it? The beach becomes once again the same. Similarly, all divisions created by ego, they disappear with this knowledge. In the light of God's wisdom, all lines disappear. Silently repeat, I choose unity over division. Not Rajasic knowledge, I choose Sattvic knowledge, I choose unity over division. Now let us meditate on Tamasic knowledge, Tamasic Jnana, Shlok 22. Yattu krasnavade ekasmin karye saktamahetukam atatvardhavadalpancha tattamasamudaratam. Sri Krishna describes Tamasic knowledge as narrow, rigid, and incomplete. It refuses to see the larger truth. Now think quietly. Have I ever insisted that only my opinion is right? My way is the only way. My understanding is complete. Observe the mind gently. Now imagine standing before a huge mountain. You can see only one small side of the mountain. Slowly you walk around it. Every side looks different. Only then do you understand how incomplete your first view was. Ask yourself, where can I become more humble? Where can I listen more to make complete understanding instead of taking decisions based on part understanding? Where can I learn more? Silently pray, Lord, remove my ignorance. Then experience the divineness, divine oneness. Visualize Lord Shri Krishna standing before you. He smiles gently, looking at you. From his heart emerges brilliant golden light. The light enters your heart and it spreads outwards. It reaches your family, your friends, your neighbors, your city, your country, and the whole world. Every living being shines with the same divine light which you got from Krishna. There is no hatred, there is no prejudice, there is no separation, only love, only peace, and only God. Remain in that silence for a few minutes. Then make a daily resolution. Resolve silently. Today I will speak kindly. Today I will respect every person. Today I will avoid unnecessary criticism. Today I will see God in those who agree with me and in those who disagree with me. Today I will remember that every act of kindness is worship of God. And closing prayer, pray with folded hands. O Lord Krishna, give me sattvic knowledge. Help me see unity where world sees division. Protect me from ego. Protect me from prejudice. Protect me from narrow thinking. May I respect every human being as your manifestation. Let my thoughts be pure. Let my words heal. Let my actions serve. Wherever I go, may I spread peace, understanding, and love. May my life reflect your wisdom. And then mentally say, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Take 3 deep breaths. Rub your palms together like this. Place them on your eyes for a few minutes, for a few seconds, and open your eyes gently. So this is the daily contemplation we should do. Throughout the day, repeat these affirmations for you. The same divine light shines in every heart. I choose understanding over judgment. I choose unity over division. I remain open to learning and growing. Every person I meet is worthy of dignity and respect. By serving others, I serve the God. So the meditation essence of these 3 shlokas, what we have done just now, is true wisdom is not measured by how much I know, but by how I see the world. When I see only differences, ego grows. When I cling to narrow views, ignorance deepens. But when I see the same divine presence in every living being, my heart expands with compassion. My mind becomes peaceful and my life becomes an expression of God's love. May Lord Krishna grant me the vision to see one in all and all in one. So this way, if we do meditation of Gita shlokas, the thoughts expressed by Krishna in Gita get deeply rooted in our mind, in our inner conscious, and our nature start changing. Swamiji says, Gita padhe padhaye aur jivan mein laye. This is the best way to bring Gita in jivan, to meditation. Okay, next shloka, 23rd. Niyatam sangarahitam aragadveshata kridam apalaprepsuna karma yattat satvikam uchyate. After explaining 3 types of jnana, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, now Krishna is telling about the karma, duty. We'll go straight to the meaning now. Action that is performed as duty. Niyatam sangarahitam, and without attachment. Sangarahitam, without likes or dislikes. and without desire for results, apaleprepsuna, is called sattvic karma, sattvic action. So in this shloka, Shri Krishna explains sattvic karma. The highest type of karma is sattvic karma. It is characterized by purity of intention, detachment of alakankshi, and alignment with duty. The word niyatam refers to actions that are prescribed or they are appropriate according to one's role and responsibilities. For son, the role given to him is serving the parents. So that is niyat karma. These are not random actions, but those that are necessary and righteous actions, dharmic. The key feature of sattvic karma is sangarahitam, free from attachment. This means the person does not cling to the action or the outcome of the action. He performs his duty simply because it is the right thing to do. Shri Krishna adds paragadveshata, meaning without attraction or aversion. This indicates emotional balance. The person is not driven by personal likes and dislikes, but acts with objectivity and with fairness. Another crucial aspect is apalaprepsuna, absence of desire for the results. Apalaprepsuna. This is a central teaching of Bhagavad Gītā, we know. Perform actions without being attached to the fruits. This we are studying in second adhyay. Karmanyavadhikarasthi mafalishu udachana. Makarmaledur mate samvatsakarbani. So such an attitude leads to inner peace and freedom from stress. Sattvic karma is not passive or indifferent. On the contrary, it involves full efforts and dedication. The difference lies in the mindset. The focus is on the action itself, not on the personal gain. For example, a teacher who teaches with sincerity without seeking recognition or reward is performing sattvic karma. Similarly, a person helping others selflessly without expecting anything in return, he exemplifies this ideal of sattvic karma. This type of action purifies the mind and leads to spiritual growth. God gives us opportunities every day to perform sattvic karma. We end up doing rajasic karma or tamasic karma. If you perform sattvic karma, it reduces our ego and fosters humility in us, namrata. Over time, it helps a person transcend the cycle of karma and move towards moksha, liberation. In modern life, adopting sattvic action can greatly reduce stress and anxiety. Much of our tension comes from worrying about the results, success or failure, praise or criticism, isn't it? By focusing on efforts rather than on outcome, one can work more peacefully and more effectively. We discussed the example of the surgeon. So Sri Krishna's teaching here is practical and transformative. It encourages us to act responsibility while maintaining inner detachment. So this shloka defines the ideal way of acting with duty, detachment, balance, and selflessness. This is the essence of karma yoga. So duty performed without attachment is sattvic karma. A municipal sanitation worker was there. He cleaned the streets every morning before sunrise. Hardly anyone noticed him. When asked why he remained cheerful, he replied, "If I do my work well, thousands begin their day in a clean city. That is my satisfaction, that is my reward." He found joy in service itself. So duty done sincerely, without expectation, is sattvic action. So he's a sanitation worker, but he is also performing sattvic karma. And those who are sitting in temples, sometimes they end up in doing tamasic karma. Next shloka, what is the rajasic karma now? Yattu kamepsuna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate baulaya santadrajya samudaratam. Actions performed with desire, ego, and great effort for personal gain is called rajasic karma, rajasic action. In this shloka, Shri Krishna describes rajasic action now. It is driven by desire, kamana, ego, ahankar, and intense efforts. Unlike sattvic action, which is calm and selfless, Rajasic action is motivated by personal gain and attachment to the karma phala. The term kamepsuna indicates a person who desires the fruits of action, kamepsuna, such as success, wealth, recognition, or power. That Kaman is there in all the time in his mind. This desire, it becomes the primary motivation behind his action. Another defining feature is sahankarena. Action performed with ego, ahankarena. The person identifies strongly as the doer himself and seeks validation for his efforts. He may think, I am achieving this, I deserve recognition. Sri Krishna mentions bahulayasam, meaning excessive effort or strain he takes. Because the attraction is karma phala. Rajasic action are often accompanied by restlessness, stress, and overexertion. The person may push himself intensely, driven by ambition and by competition. This type of action, karma, is not necessarily wrong. In fact, it is essential for material progress, worldly progress, and achievements. However, it comes with consequences. Attachment to results, it leads to anxiety, and failure can cause disappointment or frustration. For example, a person working long hours solely for promotion or for recognition is engaging himself in Rajasic action. While he may achieve success, his peace of mind is often compromised. Rajasic karma also strengthens the ego and reinforces the sense of individuality. This leads to continuous involvement in the cycle of karma and karma bandhan. As actions performed with desires, it creates further attachment, further bandha. In today's society, Rajasic karma is very, very common. They emphasize always everywhere on success, on competition, and on achievement. While it can lead to material progress, it may also result in stress and imbalance. Sri Krishna's teaching is not to completely avoid Rajasic karma, but gradually transform it into Sattvic karma. This involves reducing attachment. Karma continued, but reduce attachment, reduce ego, and reduce excessive desire. By becoming aware of our motivations, we can shift our approach. Instead of working only for results, we can focus on doing our best with sincerity and with balance of mind. So this sloka teaches us that actions driven by desire and ego are Rajasic karma. While they have their place, true peace comes from transcending them and moving towards Sattvic karma. So action driven by desire and ego is Rajasic karma. A businessman, he donated a large amount of charity, but only after ensuring television cameras were present. He wanted publicity. When his name was printed incorrectly, he got very angry. तुमको इतना पैसा दिया मेरा नाम भी सही नहीं लिखा आपने. What is this? The donation had been motivated more by recognition, not by compassion. So actions performed for fame, they bind the mind. Can we take one more sloka and close, or should we close now? How many are there?
Yeah, as you think, as you think.
Should we close now?
I guess you complete one more shloka, Bhaiya. It's going so
Okay,
well.
one more sloka. We'll take one more sloka about tamas karma. Anubandham kshem himsa vanvekshaja paurusham mohadarbhate karma yattat tamasamuchyate. Action performed out of delusion without considering consequences, loss, harm, or one's ability is called tamasic karma. Anubandham is consequences. Kshayam is loss or destruction. Himsam is harm or injury, violence. Anapeksha, without considering. Paurusham, one's capacity or ability is paurusham. Mohat, out of delusion. Arabhyate, to start, to undertake. Tat tamasam is tamasic. So Sri Krishna says, actions performed out of delusion without considering consequences, loss, harm, or one's ability are called tamasic karma. In this shloka, Shri Guru Bhagavan describes tamasic karma now, after describing sattvic and rajasic karma, which arises from ignorance and delusion. Such action is characterized by lack of awareness, responsibility, and foresight. The key term is mohat, means delusion or confusion. A person performing tamasic karma is not guided by clarity or by wisdom, but by ignorance, by impulse, or by misunderstanding. His perception of reality is always clouded, leading him to act inappropriately. Shri Krishna highlights 4 important aspects of tamasic karma that the person ignores. Anubandham. He does not think about the future effects of his karma, his anubandham. Kshayam. He ignores potential damage or waste of resources. Himsam. He does not consider whether his actions may hurt others. Paurusham. He does not evaluate whether he is capable of performing that karma or not. This lack of consideration makes tamasic action reckless and irresponsible. It is often done with planning, without planning, without reflection, or without ethical concern. For example, a person may take a task without necessary skills, leading to failure or harm. Or someone may act impulsively in anger, causing damage to relationships. Such actions are driven not by reason, but by emotional or mental confusion. That is tamasic karma. Tamasic karma can also be seen in laziness and negligence. For instance, neglecting one's duties is tamasic karma. Avoiding responsibilities is tamasic karma. Or acting carelessly in important matters, it reflects this tamasic quality. This type of action often leads to negative outcomes, not only for the individuals, but also for others. It can create suffering, conflict, and regret later on. However, the person may not even realize his mistakes due to the lack of awareness. Shri Krishna's intention here is to make us more mindful of our action. Your karma is tamasic, rajasic, or tamasic. Evaluate yourself first. Before acting, one should consider the consequences. Evaluate one's ability. ताकत है क्या मुझ में करने की, वो knowledge है क्या? And ensure that the action does not cause harm to others. In today's life, tamasic action can manifest as poor decision making, lack of planning, or ignoring ethical considerations. For example, spreading misinformation without verification is tamasic karma. Engaging in harmful habits despite knowing their consequences is tamasic karma. The solution lies in cultivating awareness and responsibility. By developing clarity of thoughts and understanding, one can avoid tamasic tendencies. So this shloka teaches us that actions performed in ignorance without foresight or consideration is tamasic karma and leads to negative consequences. It encourages to act with awareness, responsibility, and wisdom. So careless actions, ignoring consequences, is a tamasic karma. A young man frequently used his mobile phone while driving, despite repeated warnings. It is illegal also. No? One day, he caused a serious accident. Mobile पे बात कर रहा था, गाड़ी भी चला रहा था, met with a serious accident. His momentary carelessness permanently changed several lives. This is tamasic. Ignorance, carelessness. So ignorant action performed without considering consequences is tamasic. People knowingly perform tamasic karma. They know that speaking on mobile while driving is dangerous. But without considering the consequences that this small act can have, they still continue this habit. This is tamasic. Okay, we stop here and we'll take the questions now. continue the next shloka in the next session. Thank you so much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Now forum is open for your questions. If you have any.
Thank you so much, Vaidya, for that very illuminating and profound teaching. As usual, your examples from modern life makes it so much more easy for us to understand this somewhat esoteric concept. Thank you. And as we reflect on today's teaching, sadhaks, let us also perform a noble action by sharing the gift of Gita Jnana to all those who are close to us. Do invite your family and friends across the globe to join the next L1 batch, which begins on 7th of August, and registration is open at joingeeta.com. So we now request sadhaks, and we can see that hands are up. And those who are watching on YouTube or Facebook, you may like to join the Zoom session should you have any questions for Vikas ji. I think the first question is from Adarsh ji. Kindly unmute yourself, Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Okay, Bhaiya, my question is that out of the 5 things that are required to execute a karma,
Yeah.
how much is in the control of the doer?
Control, what is that?
Control of the doer.
No, they're not under control of a doer. Daivam is not under your control.
So
Your
if,
body mind may be under your control, but one factor, Daivam, is not under your control. The outside circumstances are not under your control.
so what is in
So
my
what is
control?
under your control is Adhishthanam, Karta, and Karanam. These 3.
Okay,
You may
can
take
you
efforts.
elaborate a little bit more on this? Can you elaborate a little bit more on this?
Sorry, what did you say?
Can you elaborate a little more on this?
Bhaiya, he wants an elaboration on the topic.
Okay. As I was telling you the example of the farmer. Farmer does everything. He has the farm. That is Adhishthanam. Okay. He has the senses. He has the seeds. That is their Karanam. That is the Sadhan. Karanam. He does sowing. He takes efforts. With the chesta. He does that. Takes efforts.
Okay.
So these things are under his control. He can do it. But whether the rain falls or not, whether it is excessive rain, or whether there is drought, or whether there is typhoon, or whether there is another natural disaster, that is not under his control. What is the seed quality? He has taken food, all good efforts in his karma, but what is the seed quality? That is not under his control. So this can be applied to any karma that we do. Simply a karma walking also has these 5 factors. The road on which we are walking is Adhishthanam. Karta is the person who is walking. Our legs is our Karanam with which we are walking. But with this, everything is achieved. There are potholes on the road. Road is dusty, polluted. Accidents take place on the road. Is it under our control? Walking is okay. Walking we can do. But there are many factors which are not under our control. God says the most important factor which is not under your control is Daivam. It is the result of our past karma phalas from this life as well as previous lives. That is called as our prarabdha. As we discussed some time back, karma phala is of 3 types. Kriyaman, prarabdha. The prarabdha is that, and sanchit. Sanchit is the deposit. You perform the karma phala you don't get, it goes in your deposit, sanchit. From that sanchit, when it props up as prarabdha, it is not under your control. It is under the control of God and the Prakriti. So when that prarabdha takes place, is it under your control? No, you are taking the same efforts. But prarabdha of different people is different, which is not under our control. So that's why these 5 factors, 2, 3, 4 of them are under controls, but not all of them.
So there is a good possibility that I get some good results without doing anything if my previous karmas were great.
If your daiva is good, and if you take little efforts, for example, you need to take 100% efforts, but you take only 10% efforts, and even then you get the same result. That is your daivam.
Okay.
But you should appreciate that and keep it in mind that it is my grace of God, daiva, that I have got this result. Otherwise, people have taken such feeble, small efforts, they have failed. But I
Right.
got this excellent result because of my Daiva, not because of me. So doership is not with me, it is Daiva. We should always be grateful.
Okay, one more question. The
Yeah.
example that I stay in Gurgaon, but I don't call myself Gurgaon.
Hmm.
As we relate this to, I stay in this body, but I call myself with a name. I don't really find this logical, just because if I stay in Gurgaon and I move to, say, Mumbai, Gurgaon
Hmm.
doesn't move along with me. Whereas if I
Good God
move
is
from
a
one place to other, the body moves along. The soul and the body
Yeah,
are so connected.
you see, like the soul travels from one body to another body, we travel from Gurgaon to Mumbai. We are not Gurgaon or we are not Mumbai. So, the soul changes the body,
But
it
as long
acquires
as
new
I'm
body, but it does
alive,
not become that new body either.
as long as I'm alive, my soul and
Yeah.
body are well connected.
They are connected in the sense that the soul is providing the energy, the prana energy for your body to perform. But the soul unfortunately starts considering itself as the body. And there the question of bondage comes.
Okay.
When the soul says that I am body, then the God says, okay, if you are the body, then face the consequences. If you are saying I am doing the karma, then face the consequences. That's why Gita very profoundly teaches us to detach ourselves from the role of doership and from the expectation of return reward, to distinguish between the karma performed by body and our soul, which is not performing karma but unnecessarily getting entangled, bondage, because of his too much togetherness with the body. So God says, keep performing your karma with your body, mind, intellect, and keep your mind, your soul attached to me. Then there is no question of bondage. But we involve our soul, our atma in performing the karma, that body is me, and then we detach it from God rather than detaching it from the karma phala and the material world, we start detaching our soul from the God of which it is a fragment. Mamai Mamshu Jivaloke, we are the Amsha of that God, and we detach our soul from that God itself. Then the soul has to face consequences. Attaching too much attachment with the body, mind, intellect, whatever karmas are performed, the sufferer is soul, because he has to take the body in the next life according to the karma phalas of the karma, which are performed not by him, by body, mind, intellect, trio, but the soul considers himself as the doer and enjoyer of karma phala. So that is the result that causes the bondage for soul also. Otherwise, there is no reason for soul to get bondage. But if the soul works with these two things, no sense of doership and no expectation of return reward, then the soul is totally detached from the karma phala of sharir, indriya, and man. Then he can lead to moksha.
The doer is the
But
body, or
easier said than done.
the doer is the body or the soul.
See, soul gives the energy to the body. Soul is not doing anything. Soul is providing energy to the body. Like the sunlight, sun gives light to the entire world. Some people perform good activity under the sunlight. Some commit crime under the sunlight. Sun is not involved in this. It is only
So
providing the light.
sufferer, so
Similarly, the
sufferer,
Atma is providing the Chetana only.
so sufferer is body or the soul.
Huh?
Who suffers at the end? It's the
Ah,
body or the soul.
normally it is the body which should suffer because the body is performed by karma. The karma is performed by the body. But the soul suffers. In 13th Adhyaya, we see this, that the karma is performed by body, mind, intellect, but the sufferer is Purush.
Come
Prakriti
again.
performs the three karmas, whether it is Sattva, Rajatamo. Prakriti performs the karma, but the sufferer is the Purush. There is slok to this effect in 13th Adhyaya also. Because he is attached himself too much with the body. That's why our main focus of Gita is detachment. Detachment from attachment is the sole principle of Bhagavad Gita. If we are successful in detachment in our attachments, whether it is karma, whether it is relatives, whether it is family, friends, prosperity, fame, name, money, detachment. If we get detached from all this, then we are on the path of no karma bandhan. The result of the reason of repeated birth and death is this karma bandha. If our balance sheet at the end of life is 0, 0, no karma bandha, then there is no question of new life. We get one with the God. We get rid of the cycle permanently.
Right, Via. Thank you so much. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you.
Girijaji?
Namaskaram, Vikas-ji.
Namaskar.
I might sound very silly in this cloud. Only thing is that you said about three gunas for jnanam, karma, and karta. I am bit confused in this.
Jnana is wisdom. We discussed Jnana of three types and we did meditation also on. Jnana is that Sarvabhuteshu Ainekam. When you see the same God in all living beings, that is Sattvic Jnana. And when you see
Jnana can be truth only. How can it
Huh?
be tamasic? How can a tamasic knowledge be called jnanam in the term itself?
that is what I said, that tamasic, which is out of ignorance, ignorance itself justifies that it's not actually Jnana.
Actually,
But
it's
since
not.
it's lower down than Rajasic, we call it Jnana, but actually it is ignorance. Tamasic is ignorance, darkness, delusion, confusion.
That's only that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tamasic is not really Jnana.
Yes, karma and karta can do anything with ignorance, but jnanam cannot be ignorance.
Yeah, you are right.
That's
When it is ignorance, how can you call ignorance as Jnana? Isn't it? But some people are ignorant.
clear.
They carry this. So we call that is Tamasic Jnana.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions, please?
Yes, Rauji, you have a question, right?
Namaste, everybody. Sir,
Yes, yes,
I
Krishna.
have only one doubt. Whether this prarabdha is done by myself or my daughter. I mean, because recently I have been to South Africa because of the some urgent requirement. उसका husband नहीं है, हम लोग को बुला लिया 2 महीने के लिए, हमने एंजॉय किया. But I am thinking that it is only स्वर्ग, nothing. हम लोग कुछ नहीं करना, खाली गाड़ी में बैठना है और उसका कहाँ जहाँ घूमना है, फिर वापस आ जाना. So is it due to prarabdha or is it due to karma done by her? I'm just asking you.
Both. It is your prarabdha and her karma phala also. So both. When there are two individuals involved, it involves the sanskar and the karma phala of both of them, not only one. When you pay money to somebody, that means you owed in some money in the past life.
Before Janma also.
Before life, in the past life also, last life also. When you give money to somebody, that means you had borrowed money from him in the last life and you are returning that money to him. If he doesn't return money and you are expecting that you should return, you will have to take next birth to recover money from him. And you will have to take birth to repay your money to you. So that's why.
But when I am doing puja, I want a daughter to be born. So she is born. So because of that only, I got my daughter, and she taken myself and my wife very with love, and husband also supported. He just spent a lot of money, and we have more and all the things in South Africa. And then we came back. That means due to my only karma only, na.
Because of your
I asked goddess, just like Parvati, you please give me one daughter. So she has given me. That way also we can think.
That is a different way of understanding this.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other questions, please?
Yes, one question from Malati ji. Please unmute yourself, Malati ji.
Jai Shri Krishna, Vaidya,
Jai Shri Krishna.
My question is, how do we detach ourselves from love for our family? Because we keep doing our karma because it's our duty to love. How do we detach from loving our family? It's very difficult to detach. You said the whole purpose of learning the Gita is to do attachment.
Yeah. See, God doesn't say that you
How
start
do we
hating your family or
detach
start
from
ignoring
loving our
your family. But loving family is required. Everybody loves the family. But the love should not go to that extent
Yes.
that without this I cannot live. See, the first objective of life should always be attainment of God. Rest everything comes secondary. But we forget that first objective
Yes.
of life because of excessive love, excessive attachment with other family, with friends, or with our properties. What God says is, you have love for your family, perform all your kartavya karma, prescribed duties for every member of your family, no problem about it. But don't expect anything in return and don't get too much attached that you have no other aspect of life left for you. Serving family is the only objective of life. Don't do that. There is higher objective of life than only working for the family. Working for family is good, not God doesn't criticize that, but He asks us to remember one more aspect of life. Attainment of God is the main objective of life that we normally bypass, and we think that serving family is the only objective of life. That is where the discussion starts in Gita. That is not the only objective of life. To enjoy material life, to serve family, and to enjoy family, happy family life, and end of the game. God says no. That is a very limited view. It is Rajasic knowledge. Rajasic buddhi, Rajasic karma. Sattvic karma says, attaining God is my first objective.
Yes.
So we have to have that objective in mind. Having that objective in mind, if you enjoy your family life, nothing wrong in that. God doesn't say that. Shri Krishna himself enjoyed his life, isn't it?
Yeah.
He was not a very serious person in his lifetime. Shri Krishna enjoyed every aspect of life, but with detachment. He loved Radha, but he never went back to meet her again when he left Radha. He loved Yashoda as his mother. He was an ideal son of Yashoda. But when he left, he never went back to see Yashoda, his mother also. So when he is there with full commitment, but no attachment. That is how we should learn from the example of Krishna. To keep performing our kartavya karma, our duty, but without attachment. That does not reduce the quality of our commitment or quality of our karma, but it only purifies our heart so that we always remember the ultimate objective of our life.
Okay. Thank you, Thank you, Bhaiya. Jai Shri Krishna.
I think, Bhaiya, we have no further questions. So shall we go towards Purnahuti?
Okay. Yeah.
And thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you for that wonderful, insightful vivation as well as for the Q&A session. And our heartfelt gratitude to all sadhaks who joined today with such sincerity and enthusiasm. And we look forward to welcoming you again next weekend for the next Vivechan session. We have 6 parts to this Vivechan session on this wonderful chapter, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga.
And at the end of session, Didi, we will take the complete review of entire Bhagavad-Gītā, all 18 adhyayas.
Yes.
What we have learned in entire Bhagavad-Gītā.
Is there in this important chapter.
Yeah.
And thank you very much to the backend team and the technical team whose unseen and yet invaluable seva helps these sessions succeed week after week. And with hearts filled with gratitude for today's reflection, let us now turn once again to Bhagwan in prayer. And for this, I respectfully invite Indra Mohan Sharma ji from Hoshankabad, Madhya Pradesh, a retired senior accounts officer from the central government. Indra Mohan ji joined Geeta Pariwar in May 2025 and devotedly offers his seva as a technical assistant and a group coordinator across various Learngeeta levels. Indra Mohan ji, may I respectfully request you to offer our collective prayers on the lotus feet of Bhagwan. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna to everyone. Yogesham Satchidanandam Vasudevam Prajapriyam Dharma Samsthapakam Viram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya, and thank you so much for chanting the prayers so beautifully. And sadhaks, let us take today's reflection with us, live them through the week and return with renewed enthusiasm as we continue this beautiful journey of Gita Jnana. And now let us conclude today's session by joining in the collective chanting of the Hanuman Chalisa. Jai Shri Krishna.
चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिरहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
जय श्री कृष्ण।